So, after months of pretty much radio silence, the curtain is finally starting to lift on the new Harry Potter series. Today, we're going to break down the very latest officially confirmed casting news and, more importantly, what it tells us about the entire future of this show.
I know what you're thinking. A few small roles, what's the big deal? Well, it turns out these seemingly minor characters actually reveal everything. The strategy, the ambition, and the incredible loyalty to the books behind what might be the biggest reboot ever.
Okay, so our first set of clues comes from 3 officially confirmed roles for Season 1. Now, these probably aren't the names you were expecting to hear first, but for any fan of the books, each one of these is a massive green flag. First up, we've got Naomi Worker, who's been officially cast as Madame Malkin, the owner of the famous robe shop right in the middle of Diagon Alley. A minor character for sure, but her inclusion is a way bigger deal than you might think.
See, this casting basically confirms that we're getting Harry and Draco's actual first meeting straight from the book. The 2001 film, you'll remember, moved their first real interaction to that big staircase at Hogwarts. But by including this really tense, super awkward robe fitting at Madame Malkin's, the show is setting up their rivalry from the very beginning, exactly like it was written. All right, next up we have a casting choice that sounds, well, pretty bizarre at first. Lewis Shelton has been cast to play an older version of Ron Weasley. But don't worry, they're not breaking out the time turners just yet.
He's not playing Ron from the future, he's playing Ron's vision in the Mirror of Erised. In the book, when Ron looks into the mirror, he sees himself as an older, super successful head boy and Quidditch captain. The original movie kind of glossed over this, but by casting a whole separate actor for it, the series is showing a real commitment to exploring that deep character psychology the film sometimes had to skip.
And our final clue for Season 1. This one is a real deep cut for the book loyalists out there. Neil Edmond has been cast as the manager of the Railview Hotel.
This is such a brilliant little detail. For anyone who doesn't remember, in the book, before the Dursleys end up in that hut on the rock, Uncle Vernon goes on this completely unhinged road trip trying to escape the Hogwarts letters. The movies cut this part out, but it looks like the show is going to give us the full, frantic meltdown. I can't wait.
Now, this super detailed, book-loyal approach isn't just for Season 1. Nope, the same reports are confirming that the creators are already planning much further ahead.
That's right, you heard me. Casting for Season 2 has officially begun, even while Season 1 is still deep in production. So, the obvious question is, who are they looking for?
Well, this casting list is just packed with characters who are absolutely essential to Chamber of Secrets. They're already auditioning people for the dashing but totally useless Gilderoy Lockhart, the ghost of Moaning Myrtle, and of course, the teenage version of Lord Voldemort himself, the one and only Tom Riddle.
So look, this isn't just HBO being confident, it's actually a really smart, practical production strategy. Casting this early means they can film the seasons almost back-to-back. And that's absolutely crucial for making sure the young actors don't age too quickly out of their roles, which keeps the story's timeline believable.
All of this careful, long-term planning, it all really points to one thing. The studio isn't just hoping for a hit here. They are operating under the weight of some absolutely enormous expectations.
I mean, just listen to this incredibly bold statement from a Warner Brothers executive. He didn't just say it would be a big show, or even a successful one. No, he set the bar at the biggest streaming event in history, period.
Wow. That is an almost unbelievable level of confidence, right? Especially coming from the very same network that produced giants like Game of Thrones and The Last of Us. So let's break down what's really behind a statement like that.
Well, a quote like that signals a belief that success is basically a sure thing. With an investment of hundreds of millions of dollars, the goal here isn't just to make a good adaptation. The real aim is to create another global cultural phenomenon, just like the first time around. And that, of course, puts immense pressure on everyone involved to deliver something truly spectacular.
So let's put it all together. After digging through all these casting leaks, these studio quotes, and these production strategies, what are the main things that you, the fan, should take away from all this news? It really boils down to 3 key things. First, we're seeing this commitment to a level of detail that book fans have been craving for years. Second, it's all backed by a really smart long-term strategy. And third, it's all being driven by this massive ambition to create the biggest streaming event we have ever seen.
And really, that brings us to the final, crucial question, doesn't it? They have the perfect source material, they have the strategy, and they clearly have the budget.
But as fans all over the world watch with this kind of cautious optimism, only time will tell if all these perfect pieces can actually come together to truly and fully recapture the magic.